Saying, question for both of you, how do you feel about humanism? So speaking of that, Grayling, Dawkins, and Pinker, and even Hitchens called themselves humanists, but the AHA backstabbed Dawkins, and Humanist UK has some woke stuff too. Yeah, the humanist organizations, for the most part, especially on the national and international level, have gone woke. There are some good local chapters that are still salvageable in the United States. We're actually reaching out to a lot of them, having it be a part of our state director program, actually. We're trying to resurrect the local atheist, humanist, skeptic meetup community scene that a lot of the other atheist organizations have abandoned. I think calling yourself a humanist is a good thing, but have that be a secondary label to call yourself an atheist. That's my personal view. Humanism, in many ways, is a great thing because it solves the issue of giving people purpose and meaning in life. David Silberman, advisory board chair to AFL, he recently went on the AAI podcast and talked there about how AHA, the American Humanist Association, was meant to be the big think tank that solved the issue of having purpose in life without religion. And because those organizations have embraced wokeness, there aren't a lot of humanist institutions that exist now to really provide people with that meaning. That's why you're seeing, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of political grifting involved, but you're seeing also people like Ion Hersey Ali, and we did an episode of this with Ron Lindsay, converting to Christianity. Humanism and the efforts of humanism on a professional level, that was meant to solve that gap. And I think people should still proudly call themselves humanists, but use that as a secondary term. That's my take.
Yeah, I think humanism is definitely on the right track. I think the problem with kind of jumping the gun and already constructing a philosophy of humanism is that basically, as far as I'm concerned, humanism is just making sure that everybody's lives are better, that we care about humans through a scientific lens, through a naturalistic lens, not through a religious lens. And I think that's obviously true, but there's a lot of things that we have to consider also in terms of our ethics. If someone adopts a utilitarian philosophy on how we should view ethics versus someone who adopts a Kantian philosophy, those two people could be humanistic as well. But they just have a different view of how we should structure society. And because humanism doesn't really address those debates, it doesn't really address a much deeper layer in terms of why people believe the things that they do and how we should go about having a good society, reaching the good. It was bound to kind of fail. I think hopefully down the line, Steven Pinker is 100% correct that we should have, everybody in general who says this, we should have a shared philosophy in terms of how we should live. But inside that shared philosophy, I would argue is that you need to have freedom of speech. People need to be dissenting against that philosophy. And people should also be able to kind of discuss and have an open debate in terms of what ethical framework we should have. And I think humanism, it's a little too new to be able to take that on at this moment.
All the more reason, everybody, why we need to work together to build institutions where we can solve these problems and answer these questions. Atheists for Liberty is doing that. Get on board. We actually have a volunteer form on our website, atheistsforliberty.org. In the Get Involved section, click the volunteer form and fill it out today. You could use not only your money, but also your time as well. We're a growing nonprofit. Always want people with a lot of experience and people who can help us answer these questions and solve these problems.